My beloved child, listen carefully, because this is not a random moment and this is not a random message. What I am about to reveal to you is unfolding right now. There has been a hidden hand working against you in silence, a quiet plan formed behind closed doors, spoken in whispers you were never meant to hear. And Archangel Michael is stepping forward at this very second to warn you. The timeline of that plan has reached its final minutes. You did not imagine the heaviness you felt recently. You did not misread the sudden resistance, the strange delays, or the way certain people began acting differently toward you. Something was moving beneath the surface. Someone believed you would never notice. Someone assumed you would stay unaware until it was too late. But heaven never sleeps, and nothing done in secret remains hidden forever. Hear this clearly. The opposition against you did not start today. It began when your light became noticeable, when your growth made others uncomfortable, when your silence was mistaken for weakness. There had been envy masked as concern, smiles hiding intentions, and conversations that excluded your name but centered around your destiny. Yet even now, the enemy is shocked, because you are still standing. Archangel Michael says, the plan is fragile. It depends entirely on timing and on your hesitation. It requires you to doubt yourself for just a moment longer. It requires you to ignore this nudge, to scroll past, to say later. That is why this warning feels urgent. That is why your spirit felt pulled to open this message now and not tomorrow. There is a decision placed before you. One choice, one inner alignment, one moment of clarity that shifts everything. This is not about fear, and this is not about panic. This is about awareness. The moment you become aware, the plan begins to collapse. The moment you choose differently than expected, the trap loses its power. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being targeted because you are effective. There is something you carry that disrupts unhealthy systems and exposes false authority. Your presence alone challenges what others have carefully built in the shadows. And instead of confronting you openly, they chose secrecy. But listen, this is where their miscalculation lies. They assumed you were alone. They assumed no one was watching. They assumed heaven would stay silent. And they were wrong. Archangel Michael stands as a shield over your name. He has seen every word spoken about you in private. He has heard every intention, even the ones never verbalized. He has marked the exact moment when interference would be allowed to end. And that moment is now. You may feel an inner push to act, speak, delay something, or step back suddenly. Do not dismiss it. That nudge is not confusion. It is protection. The guidance coming to you may not make logical sense at first, but it is precise. Heaven often moves you before the danger becomes visible. Pay attention to what has been repeating in your life. A thought, a warning, a phrase, a sudden urge to recheck, reconsider, or redirect. These are not coincidences. They are signals. When the unseen realm accelerates, repetition is how clarity arrives. Someone expected you to stay passive. Someone counted on your kindness to keep you quiet. Someone believed you would choose comfort over truth. But the decision placed in front of you right now is small in appearance and massive in consequence. Choose alignment over approval. Choose awareness over ease. Choose timing over habit. Archangel Michael says, do not confront prematurely. This is important. Exposure does not require your aggression. The plan ends not because you fight, but because you refuse to play your assigned role in it. Silence, distance, and discernment will do more than arguments ever could. There is also relief coming with this revelation. Once this ends, The tension you have been carrying without explanation will lift. Your sleep will change. Your clarity will return. You will suddenly understand why certain doors stayed closed and why some connections felt draining instead of supportive. This message is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to position you. The countdown is not against you. It is against what was formed to block you. And when the timer runs out, nothing they prepare will function the way they planned. Stay grounded. Stay calm. Stay obedient to the quiet instruction forming in your spirit right now. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to choose wisely in this window. Because once this moment passes, the interference ends, the cover is removed, and your path clears in ways you did not expect. If this is resonating deeply, it is because your spirit already knows what is at stake. And what comes next will make sense very soon. My dear one, take a breath and settle your heart, because what you are sensing right now is not confusion. It is revelation arriving layer by layer. The warning you received was only the opening of the door. Now Archangel Michael draws you closer, not to frighten you, but to strengthen you. The pressure you have felt lately did not come from nowhere. It came because the unseen realized that time was running out. There hath been an unusual urgency around you. Small things felt heavy. Decisions felt delayed. Conversations felt tense even when nothing was said. This is how hidden opposition behaves when it knows exposure is near. It creates noise to distract you, pressure to rush you, and doubt to weaken your discernment. But you are still here. Still listening, still open. That alone tells me something powerful about you. Archangel Michael says the one working in secret underestimated your sensitivity to truth. They assumed you would ignore the inner discomfort. They believed you would override your intuition with logic or loyalty. But your spirit has been growing sharper, not duller. You have been learning how to listen beneath words, how to sense beneath actions, how to pause when something feels off even if it looks right. This is why heaven intervened now and not later. If you had moved one step further without awareness, the delay would have cost you peace. But because you stopped, even for a moment, the pattern broke. A chain weakened. The plan began unraveling from the inside. You need to understand something important. This is not about one dramatic event. It is about alignment. When you align with truth, deception cannot hold its structure. It collapses naturally. You do not have to expose anyone publicly. You do not have to accuse or explain. Heaven handles what you cannot see. Your responsibility is to stay aligned. Archangel Michael is asking you to observe rather than react. Watch who becomes uncomfortable with your clarity. Notice who resists your boundaries. Pay attention to who benefits when you doubt yourself. These observations are not to make you suspicious of everyone, but to make you wise about where you place access to your energy. There is also something else unfolding. The decision you are being asked to make is connected to timing, not morality. Both options may look harmless. Both may appear acceptable. But one keeps you delayed, and the other moves you into protection. This is why the choice feels subtle yet heavy. Heaven often protects us through redirection, not confrontation. Do not rush this moment, but do not ignore it either. Let your next step come from calm clarity, not pressure. If something feels forced, it is not aligned. If something requires you to shrink, it is not for you. If something demands silence when truth is needed, it will cost you later. Archangel Michael reminds you that spiritual protection does not always feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels like a pause. Sometimes it feels like a sudden loss of interest. Sometimes it feels like a delay that frustrates you in the moment but saves you afterward. Trust what is being rearranged, even if you do not yet understand why. You may also feel led to create distance from certain conversations, plans, or commitments. You not feel guilty about that. Distance is not rejection. It is preservation. Not everyone deserves front row access to your life, especially during a sensitive transition. And now, let me speak directly to your heart for a moment. If this message is speaking to you, if you feel seen and protected through these words, I want you to actively engage with this space. Like this video so the message reaches others who are standing at a similar crossroads. Share it with someone who has been feeling spiritual pressure without clarity. Leave a comment, not for algorithms alone, but as a declaration that you are choosing awareness over ignorance. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now. This channel is not entertainment. It is a place of alignment and timely guidance. Joining the community keeps you connected to messages you may need before you even know you need them. Archangel Michael says your engagement is not small. Every action of agreement strengthens the atmosphere around you. When you interact with truth, you anchor it deeper into your life. There is one more thing you need to hear before we move forward. The person who worked in secret is already feeling unsettled. They sense the shift. They feel exposed even before exposure happens. This is why their energy may feel erratic or inconsistent now. Do not let that draw you back in. Let the separation complete its work. What comes next will reveal why this interruption was necessary. There is a protection you avoided, a delay that saved you, and a redirection that will soon make perfect sense. Hold on, because what unfolds next brings clarity that changes how you see recent events completely. Beloved soul, what is being revealed now goes deeper than you expected, because the hidden work against you was never only about destruction, it was about control. Archangel Michael says the true intention was to keep you doubting your authority, questioning your timing, and second-guessing your worth. As long as you hesitated, others felt safe. As long as you delayed, they felt powerful. But something has shifted, and they can feel it slipping from their hands. There is a reason you began seeing patterns instead of isolated moments. Conversations that once felt normal suddenly felt heavy. Opportunities that should have flowed easily felt blocked for no clear reason. This was not bad luck. This was resistance attempting to wear you down slowly so you would surrender your position without a fight. But you did not surrender. You endured. And endurance has a sound in the spiritual realm. It alerts heaven that reinforcement is required. Archangel Michael steps in when endurance turns into injustice. He intervenes when patience is mistaken for permission. What you are experiencing now is divine correction, not only for you, but for everyone involved. The scales are being adjusted. What was tilted against you is being brought back into balance, and balance always exposes imbalance. There is something important you must understand about the one who worked in secret. They believed they had more time. They assumed they could keep adjusting their plan as long as you stayed quiet. They thought your kindness meant compliance. But heaven marked a limit. And once that limit was reached, intervention was released without negotiation. This is why things are accelerating. Information is surfacing. Emotions are rising. Truth is pressing forward even when no one speaks it out loud. What was hidden cannot survive in this atmosphere. Light is not aggressive. It is simply honest. And honesty dismantles deception effortlessly. Archangel Michael says you are being taught discernment at a higher level now. No longer will you need proof to know when something is wrong. You will feel it immediately. No longer will you over-explain yourself to be understood. Clarity will replace justification. This season matures you, not hardens you. There may be moments when you feel tempted to revisit old conversations or replay scenarios in your mind. Release that urge. Reflection is helpful, but fixation delays healing. What matters is not what they intended, but what was prevented. You were protected from deeper entanglement. You were preserved from consequences that were not meant for you. And preservation is a gift many do not recognize until later. Archangel Michael also wants you to know that this exposure is not meant to shame anyone. It is meant to free you. Freedom does not require retaliation. It requires separation. Once the truth is seen, your spirit naturally withdraws from what no longer aligns. That withdrawal is enough. Something new is being prepared in the space that clears. A connection built on respect. An opportunity built on transparency. A path that does not require you to shriek or explain your intuition. This is why the old had to end quietly. Noise was never necessary. And I'll hear this clearly. The moment you stop carrying what was never yours, your energy returns. Creativity returns. Confidence returns. Peace returns. And when peace returns, progress follows without resistance. Archangel Michael says this chapter closes not with drama, but with authority. You do not need closure from people. You already have confirmation from heaven. That is sufficient. Before we move forward, receive this activation. Type "I receive divine protection" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 444 has just been released over your life. And now, let this moment flow into obedience. I'm speaking directly to you who feel this stirring in your chest. When you sow into this mission, you are lighting lamps for souls still walking in confusion. You are placing oil where darkness tried to rule. The Lord says, as you release, I release back to you, pressed down and overflowing. If this message guarded you, let your support guard others. Use super thanks, step into membership, or give through PayPal. The link is waiting in the description. Do it now, not later, because obedience delayed is impact delayed. I bless every seed you sow, and I declare that what you give in faith will return as clarity, covering, and increase. Chosen one, now that the veil has been lifted, Archangel Michael draws your attention to something even more important than what was done against you. What was preserved within you. The enemy's greatest failure was not that their plan collapsed, but that it never reached your core. They touched the edges of your life, but they could not access your calling. They interfered with circumstances, but they could not rewrite your assignment. You may be realizing now that despite the pressure, you never fully lost yourself. Yes, you felt tired. Yes, you questioned certain path. Yes, there were moments of emotional heaviness that made no logical sense. But something inside you stayed awake. Something refused to go numb. That was not your strength alone. That was protection layered over your spirit long before you understood why it was needed. Archangel Michael says this season was a test of spiritual authority, not endurance. Endurance you already had. Authority, however, must be activated through awareness. Until now, you were operating from innocence. From this point forward, you operate from wisdom. Innocence trusts easily. Wisdom discerns deeply. And discernment changes how you move through the world. You may begin to notice a shift in how people respond to you. Some will feel drawn to your calm. Others will feel unsettled by your clarity. This is natural. When authority replaces hesitation, it creates a new atmosphere. Not everyone knows how to exist in it. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. Comfort is not your assignment. There is also a healing taking place that you may not consciously recognize yet. It is happening beneath the surface. Old emotional patterns are loosening. Old reactions are losing their grip. You are no longer as easily triggered, because triggers rely on unresolved wounds. And those wounds are closing now. Archangel Michael says the reason this healing feels quiet is because it is complete. Partial healing is loud. Complete healing is steady. You are not being patched, you are being restored. That is why your reactions are changing before your thoughts do. Your spirit has already moved ahead. Pay attention to your dreams and sudden insights during this time. Guidance will come in gentle ways. A sentence that stands out. A memory that suddenly makes sense. A realization that brings peace instead of anger. These are confirmations that the interference has ended and recalibration has begun. There may be a temptation to seek explanations from those who were involved. Resist it. Explanations often reopen doors that closure has already sealed. You do not need their acknowledgement to validate what you experienced. Validation has already been given in the form of clarity and release. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that spiritual maturity often feels like simplicity. Fewer words, fewer reactions, fewer attachments, more peace, more focus, more precision. You are not losing interest in life. You are losing interest in distraction. What lies ahead will require this clarity. There is a responsibility coming that cannot coexist with emotional entanglement. There is a role you will step into that demands clean boundaries and steady vision. This is why the pruning happened before the promotion. You may soon be offered something that looks similar to what you wanted before, but feels different now. That difference is discernment. You will recognize alignment not by excitement alone, but by peace. Peace will be your confirmation. If it costs you peace, it costs too much. Archangel Michael also says that forgiveness will come naturally, without force. Not because what happened was acceptable, but because you no longer need to carry it. Forgiveness is not agreement, it is release. And release is freedom. You are entering a phase where your intuition becomes your advantage. You will sense shifts before they happen. You will avoid complications without knowing why. You will arrive at the right place at the right time without effort. This is what life feels like when resistance is removed. Do not rush to label this season. Let it unfold. Some chapters are meant to be lived, not analyzed. Trust that what ended did so with purpose. Trust that what begins will do so with clarity. Archangel Michael stands watch, not only as a protector, but as a guide. You are not being led into isolation. You are being led into alignment. And alignment always attracts what is meant to walk with you next. Remain steady. Remain aware. The path ahead is clear now, even if it unfolds one step at a time. Beloved one, as you move forward from this moment, Archangel Michael brings your attention to the unseen recalibration happening around you. While you have been focused on regaining your balance, the spiritual atmosphere itself hath been shifting to accommodate your next level. What once felt heavy now feels distant. What once demanded effort now begins to flow. This is not coincidence. It is alignment responding to your obedience. You may notice that certain struggles simply lose their intensity without explanation. Problems that once dominated your thoughts no longer carry the same emotional weight. This is because their influence has expired. Influence only lasts as long as it is fed, and you are no longer feeding what was draining you. Awareness starves deception. Peace weakens resistance. Archangel Michael says the quietness you are entering is intentional. Silence is being used to reset your nervous system and sharpen your perception. When life becomes less noisy, truth becomes easier to hear. This is why distractions are falling away naturally. You are not being isolated, you are being refined. There is also a strengthening of your inner authority taking place. You will find it easier to say no without guilt, easier to pause before committing, easier to step back when something feels misaligned. This is not detachment, it is maturity. Emotional clarity is one of the greatest forms of protection. You may reflect on how much energy you once invested in situations that offered little return. That awareness is not meant to bring regret. It is meant to bring relief. You are no longer required to prove yourself where you are not valued. That season is complete. Archangel Michael reminds you that growth often feels like subtraction before it feels like expansion. What is removed makes room for what can remain. What leaves create space for what can stay. This is how capacity increases, by releasing what no longer fits. You might also notice that your desires are changing. Things that once felt urgent now feel optional. Things that once felt important now feel unnecessary. This is not loss of passion. It is refinement of purpose. Your focus is narrowing because your direction is becoming clearer. Here is an invitation coming that aligns with this clarity. It may not arrive loudly. It may come as a simple opportunity, a quiet conversation, or an unexpected opening. Do not overlook it because it seems small. Seeds rarely look like harvests at first glance. Archangel Michael says your role in this next phase is to remain present. Do not rush ahead mentally. Do not linger behind emotionally. Stay where your feet are. Presence anchors protection. When you are present, manipulation loses its leverage. You may still encounter echoes of the past attempting to regain access. Old patterns, old voices, old doubts may resurface briefly. This does not mean they have power. It means they are testing boundaries. Your calm response will be their final answer. Notice how quickly your energy returns when you choose peace. Notice how clarity follows stillness. These are signs that your system is healing at a deep level. Healing does not always announce itself with emotion. Sometimes it simply restores balance. Archangel Michael wants you to know that trust will feel different now. It will be slower, but stronger. You will no longer bond over confusion or chaos. You will connect through consistency and respect. This shift will protect you from repeating old cycles. There is also a renewal of hope taking place, even if it feels subtle. You may find yourself imagining possibilities again without fear. You may feel open to planning without anxiety. That openness is a sign that safety has been restored. You are not returning to who you were before the interference. You are becoming someone more grounded, more aware, more intentional. This version of you cannot be easily swayed. That is why this preparation was necessary. Archangel Michael stands with you as you integrate these changes. Integration takes time. Be patient with yourself. Let your new rhythm settle. Strength is not proven through speed, but through stability. What lies ahead will confirm everything you have sensed but could not yet explain. The clarity you carry now will guide you accurately. Continue to choose awareness. Continue to honor peace. The path is open, and you are ready to walk it. Beloved child, now Archangel Michael speaks to you about momentum, because protection is not only about stopping what was against you. It is about guiding what moves forward. What you are feeling now is a subtle but steady push. Not pressure, not force. A push that feels like readiness. This is how divine momentum begins. Widely, clearly, without chaos. You may sense that procrastination no longer feels comfortable. Delays that once felt harmless now feel heavy. This is because your season has shifted. What was allowed before is no longer permitted now. Timing has become sacred. When timing becomes sacred, hesitation becomes costly, not dangerous but limiting. And heaven does not want limitation to define this chapter. Archangel Michael says your discernment has matured to the point where you can move without overanalyzing. You no longer need endless confirmation. You no longer need everyone's approval. You know enough now to take the next step with confidence. That confidence is not arrogance. It is alignment. Notice how opportunities are beginning to appear in ways that do not drain you. Notice how certain paths feel lighter even before results show up. Lightness is a sign of agreement. Heaviness is a sign of resistance. Let this be your filter. You are not required to struggle to prove commitment. What is meant for you will not demand self-betrayal. Archangel Michael also reminds you that forward movement does not mean everything will be perfect. It means you will be protected while you move. There is a difference. Perfection is fragile. Protection is resilient. You are being offered resilience. You may encounter people who question your change. They may say you are different, less available, less reactive, less eager to explain yourself. Take that as confirmation. Growth often looks like distance to those who benefited from your uncertainty. There is also a reclaiming of joy happening. Not loud joy, but steady joy. The kind that does not depend on circumstances. The kind that stays even when plans shift. This joy is a result of safety returning to your nervous system. When the spirit feels safe, joy surfaces naturally. Archangel Michael wants you to be intentional about what you allow into your mind during this phase. What you consume shapes your momentum. Conversations, media, environments, all of it matters more now because you are building consistency. Protect your focus. Focus is the doorway through which progress enters. You are also being taught how to trust yourself again. That trust may feel unfamiliar at first. You may second-guess moments of clarity simply because you are not used to moving without anxiety. But peace is not a warning sign. Peace is confirmation. There will be moments when you look back and realize how close you came to making a choice that would have delayed you further. Do not dwell on that. Gratitude is the proper response, not regret. You were guided away just in time. Archangel Michael says the momentum building now will not stop suddenly. It will increase gradually, allowing you to adapt without overwhelm. This is sustainable growth, sustainable clarity, sustainable peace. And now, if this message is aligning with your spirit, I want you to actively participate. Like this video to anchor this word in your life. Share it so others who feel unseen can receive clarity. Comment with what you are releasing or stepping into. Your words carry agreement. And if you have not subscribed yet, this is your moment. Subscribing keeps you connected to timely guidance meant to protect and position you. This is not just a channel. It is a place of alignment. And before you move away, stay with me for what comes next. What is about to be revealed will connect everything you have experienced so far in a way you did not expect, and it will help you understand why this momentum had to begin now. Archangel Michael stands ahead of you, not behind you. You are not catching up. You are arriving. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now turns your attention to understanding, because protection without understanding can still leave confusion behind. What you are being given in this phase is not just safety, but insight. Insight into why certain things unfolded the way they did, and why your spirit was restless even when circumstances looked stable on the surface. Restlessness was not dissatisfaction. It was discernment trying to get your attention. There were moments when you could not explain your unease. Nothing was obviously wrong, yet something felt misaligned. That feeling was not emotional instability. It was your spirit recognizing subtle resistance long before your mind could identify it. Archangel Michael says you are learning to trust that inner signal now, not question it. This is important because the next chapter of your life will require quicker discernment and quieter confidence. You will not always have time to process everything logically. Some decisions will need to be made from inner knowing rather than external validation. And that is not reckless, that is mature. You may begin to see past interactions differently now. Words you once overlooked suddenly carry meaning. Actions you once excused now feel clear. This clarity is not meant to reopen wounds. It is meant to close them properly. Understanding completes healing. Archangel Michael also reveals that some delays you blamed on yourself were never your fault. They were interruptions designed to slow you down, hoping frustration would cause you to abandon what you were building. But instead of quitting, you adapted. Instead of collapsing, you adjusted. That adaptability is one of your greatest strengths. There is a quiet confidence growing in you now. It does not announce itself. It does not seek attention. It simply knows. This confidence allows you to move without urgency and without fear. You are no longer driven by the need to prove anything. You are guided by alignment. You may notice that you are becoming more selective with your words. You speak less but with more weight. This is not withdrawal, it is authority. When words carry weight, fewer are needed. Archangel Michael says this is a sign of internal alignment. At times, you may feel moments of loneliness even though you are not alone. That feeling is transitional. You are moving out of one frequency and into another. Not everyone can walk with you at this level of clarity. This does not mean you are losing people. It means your path is narrowing to what is essential. There is also a strengthening of boundaries happening naturally. You are no longer negotiating your peace. You are no longer explaining your limits. Boundaries are becoming instinctive rather than defensive. This is what healed boundaries feel like. Archangel Michael wants you to know that your past sensitivity was never weakness. It was perception without protection. Loud perception is paired with protection, and that makes it powerful. You can sense deeply without being overwhelmed. You can care without carrying what is not yours. The next season will bring opportunities that require discernment more than enthusiasm. Not every open door is meant to be walked through. Some are meant to be acknowledged and declined. You will know the difference by how your spirit responds. Peace will always be the indicator. You may also feel a renewed sense of purpose forming, even if you cannot name it yet. Purpose often emerges quietly, through consistency rather than revelation. You are being positioned to influence through presence, not pressure. Archangel Michael says do not underestimate the power of your steadiness. In a world driven by reaction, steadiness is rare. Your calm will become a refuge for others. Your clarity will bring direction where confusion once ruled. As you move forward, resist the urge to rush outcomes. Let things unfold at their intended pace. What is being built now has longevity. Longevity requires patience, and patience is easier when trust is restored. Trust that what left needed to leave. Trust that what remains is enough. Trust that what comes next will arrive at the right moment, not a moment too soon. Archangel Michael stands beside you, not as a rescuer, but as a witness to your growth. You are no longer surviving. You are stabilizing. And stability is the foundation for everything that comes next. Remain attentive. Remain grounded. The clarity you carry now will continue to expand, and soon you will look back and realize this was the moment everything quietly changed. My precious one, Archangel Michael now speaks of completion, because what you are standing in is not merely a pause between battles, but the sealing of a chapter. Something has fully run its course. The spiritual resistance that once hovered around you no longer has permission to follow you forward. This is why the atmosphere around you feels different, even if your external world has not fully caught up yet. Completion happens in the unseen before it manifests in the visible. You may feel a strange mixture of relief and seriousness at the same time. Relief because the weight has lifted. Seriousness because you sense that what comes next matters deeply. This is accurate. You are no longer in a season of correction. You are in a season of responsibility. Not burden, but stewardship. What you carry now must be handled with intention. Archangel Michael says that one of the greatest signs of this completion is your ability to remain calm where you once would have reacted. Situations that used to provoke anxiety now simply reveal information. You observe instead of absorb. This is mastery. Mastery does not come from control, but from clarity. There is also a final unraveling happening for the one who worked in secret. Not through your involvement, but through their own imbalance. What was built on manipulation cannot sustain itself without constant effort. And that effort is failing. You may notice them withdrawing, becoming inconsistent, or suddenly quiet. This is not your concern anymore. Their chapter in your life has ended. Archangel Michael reminds you that endings do not always come with explanations. Sometimes they come with peace. Peace is the confirmation. If you feel peace where confusion once lived, trust it. You do not need further evidence. You are now being asked to anchor this peace intentionally. Guard your mornings. Guard your evenings. Guard the moments when your mind is most open. What you allow into those spaces will determine how firmly this new foundation sets. There may be a temptation to test yourself, to step back into old dynamics just to prove you have changed. Do not do this. Growth does not require reenactment. The fact that you no longer desire to engage is proof enough. Archangel Michael says that discernment is now part of your identity, not just a tool you use occasionally. This means you will sense misalignment quickly and disengage without drama. It is power exercised quietly. Something else is also being restored, your trust in divine timing. You no longer feel rushed to force outcomes. You no longer feel behind. You understand now that delay was protection and that waiting refined your vision. This understanding brings rest. As this chapter seals, there is a blessing being released over your stability. Stability in decisions. Stability in emotions. Stability in direction. This stability will attract opportunities that require consistency, not chaos. You are now ready for those opportunities. Receive this activation with intention. Type "I stand in divine authority" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 888 is now activated over your life. And now hear this sacred instruction. I am speaking directly to those who feel the weight of this moment. When you support this mission, you are not funding content. You are fueling clarity for souls who are still under pressure. The Lord says, as you pour out, I will establish you. Your giving becomes oil that keeps this light burning where confusion once ruled. Use super thanks. Step into membership, or so through PayPal using the link in the description. Do it now, not later, because obedience in the moment opens heavens in motion. I speak blessing over every giver, and I declare that what you release today will return as peace, provision, and protection multiplied. Remain grounded. Remain aware. What has been sealed cannot be reopened, and what is coming next will require the stability you now carry. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now draws your awareness toward preparation, because after completion comes positioning. What hath been sealed behind you created space in front of you, and space always demands intention. You are no longer clearing obstacles, you are choosing direction. This shift is subtle, but it is significant. It marks the difference between recovery and readiness. You may notice that your thoughts are becoming more future-oriented, not in an anxious way, but in a grounded way. You are not escaping the present, you are building from it. This is a sign that trust has been restored at a deeper level. When trust is present, the mind no longer scans for danger. It begins to design. Archangel Michael says the next phase of your life will reward clarity more than effort. In the past, effort compensated for confusion. And now, clarity will reduce effort. Things will still require discipline, but they will no longer drain you the way they once did. You will know where to place your energy, and just as importantly, where not to. There is also a strengthening of patience happening, but this patience feels different from before. It is not waiting in uncertainty, it is waiting with expectation. You are no longer asking if something will happen, but when and how. That shift in posture changes everything. You may feel an inner prompting to organize parts of your life that you previously ignored. This could show up as a desire to clean, restructure, simplify, or reorder priorities. Do not dismiss this. External order supports internal clarity. When your environment aligns with your direction, momentum increases naturally. Archangel Michael also reveals that you are becoming more aware of cause and effect. You recognize how small choices influence larger outcomes. This awareness will protect you from unnecessary complications. You will no longer underestimate small compromises or overestimate quick rewards. Wisdom is balancing both. There may be moments when you feel excitement rising, followed quickly by calm. This combination is important. Excitement alone can be impulsive. Calm alone can be passive. Together, they create intentional movement. This is the emotional balance you are being trained to maintain. You are also stepping into a season where discernment will guide your connections more than familiarity. You may feel less attached to history and more drawn to alignment. This does not mean you discard people easily. It means you value resonance over routine. Relationships that move forward with you will feel mutual, not forced. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that not everyone who supported you in survival is meant to walk with you in stability. Survival bonds are intense. Stability bonds are consistent. The transition between the two can feel quiet, even lonely at times. But it is necessary. You may begin to experience moments of gratitude for things you once questioned. Delays, redirections, even endings may now appear in a different light. This gratitude is not denial of pain. It is recognition of protection. Recognition strengthens trust. There is also an increase in personal responsibility. You will notice that you are less tolerant of excuses, especially your own. This is not self-judgment. It is self-respect. You now know what you are capable of, and you will no longer settle for patterns that keep you small. Archangel Michael says this is a season where consistency will matter more than intensity. Small, repeated actions will create lasting change. You do not need to overhaul everything at once. Steady progress is favored now. You may feel guided to revisit a goal or vision you set aside earlier, not because it failed, but because the timing was wrong. Look at it again with fresh eyes. You are not the same person now. What once felt overwhelming may now feel manageable. Pay attention to how your body responds to decisions. Peace will feel like expansion. Misalignment will feel constricted. Your body is becoming an instrument of discernment, not anxiety. Learn its language. Archangel Michael reminds you that preparation is not passive. It is active alignment. Every choice you make now shapes the terrain ahead. Choose simplicity over excess. Choose truth over convenience. Choose presence over distraction. You are no longer reacting to life. You are participating in it with awareness. This is the posture of someone who is ready for increase, not just relief. Remain attentive in this season. The path will continue to reveal itself one step at a time, and each step will confirm that you are exactly where you need to be. Beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks to you about alignment in motion, because preparation without action can quietly turn into delay. What you are being guided into now is not rushed movement, but intentional steps taken with clarity. This is the season where alignment begins to show results, not all at once, but steadily, unmistakably. You may notice that your tolerance for stagnation has decreased. Situations where nothing grows, nothing changes, and nothing improves will begin to feel uncomfortable. This discomfort is not dissatisfaction. It is discernment pushing you forward. You were not created to remain in holding patterns. You were created to advance with purpose. Archangel Michael says that action taken in alignment carries a different weight than action taken in fear. Fear-driven action exhausts you. Aligned action energizes you, even when it requires effort. Pay attention to how you feel after you take a step. That feeling will tell you whether you are moving in the right direction. There is also a sharpening of focus happening now. You are less scattered. You are less pulled in multiple directions. This focus is a gift. Guard it carefully. Not every request deserves a response. Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Your clarity is valuable, and it must be protected. You may encounter moments where old doubts try to resurface, especially when progress becomes visible. Doubt often appears when something is about to work. Do not mistake familiarity for truth. Just because doubt has been present before does not mean it belongs now. Archangel Michael reminds you that consistency will be your greatest ally in this phase. You do not need dramatic breakthroughs every day. You need steady movement. Small steps taken daily will outperform sporadic bursts of effort. This is how lasting change is built. You may also feel guided to communicate more clearly and more honestly. Not aggressively, not defensively, but directly. Clear communication removes confusion before it forms. This will save you time, energy, and emotional strain. Speak when clarity is needed. Be silent when observation is wiser. There is a sense of self-respect growing stronger within you. You are less willing to compromise your values for convenience. This self-respect will influence the quality of what you attract. What meets you next will meet you at this level. Archangel Michael says that your environment will begin to reflect your internal alignment. You may notice shifts in who reaches out to you, what opportunities arise, and what no longer fits. Let these changes happen without resistance. You are not losing anything essential. Now, pause for a moment. If this message is grounding you, guiding you, and helping you see clearly, take an active step of agreement. Like this video to anchor this word in your journey. Share it with someone who feels stuck between preparation and action. Leave a comment as a declaration of the direction you are choosing. And if you have not subscribed yet, this is your moment to stay connected. Subscribing ensures you do not miss guidance meant to meet you right on time. Join this community that moves with intention, not confusion. Archangel Michael says your engagement is not just support, it is alignment. When you align with truth, truth aligns with you. As you continue forward, remember that not everything will require effort. Some things will fall into place simply because resistance have been removed. Allow ease where ease is offered. Do not assume struggle is a requirement for worthiness. You are also learning how to rest without guilt. Rest is not avoidance. It is integration. Integration allows lessons to settle and wisdom to mature. Honor your need for rest as much as your desire for progress. There may be moments when you feel both gratitude for how far you have come and anticipation for what lies ahead. This balance is healthy. Gratitude keeps you grounded. Anticipation keeps you moving. Archangel Michael wants you to know that what you are building now will not need constant defense. It will stand because it is rooted in truth. Truth does not require maintenance through fear. Before you move on, stay present with what is coming next. What will be revealed will connect your actions with outcomes in a way that strengthens your confidence and confirms that your alignment has been accurate all along. Trust me, this next insight will bring everything together. Beloved child, Archangel Michael now speaks to you about confirmation, because after alignment and action, heaven always provides assurance. Assurance does not always arrive as a loud sign or dramatic event. Often, it comes as inner certainty, a knowing that settles deep within you and does not shake, even when circumstances are still catching up. This is the confirmation you are stepping into now. You may notice that you are no longer constantly seeking reassurance from others. Where you once needed validation, you now carry quiet confidence. This confidence is not based on outcomes yet seen, but on alignment already felt. That is the difference. When alignment is real, confirmation follows naturally. Archangel Michael says that this stage is crucial because doubt often tries to return right before manifestation becomes visible. Doubt will whisper questions like, "What if you misread this?" Or "What if you waited too long?" But these questions no longer hold weight because your spirit has already settled. What settles the spirit cannot be undone by passing thoughts. There is also a deepening of trust taking place. Not blind trusted, but informed trusted. Trust built on experience, correction, and clarity. You have seen what misalignment feels like. You have lived through the consequences of ignoring intuition. Now you know the difference, and that knowledge protects you. You may experience moments of stillness where nothing seems to be happening externally. Do not mistake this for stagnation. This is consolidation. What has shifted internally is anchoring itself. Anchored change lasts. I change evade. Heaven is not in a hurry because heaven is precise. Archangel Michael reveals that you are being positioned to recognize opportunities without chasing them. What is meant for you will not require pursuit fueled by anxiety. It will approach you in alignment. It will feel natural, not forced. When something requires you to abandon peace to obtain it, it is not sent by heaven. You are also becoming more aware of your influence. Not influence as control, but influence as presence. Your calm changes rooms. Your clarity shifts conversations. Your boundaries teach others how to treat you. This influence will grow quietly, without effort. There may be moments when you reflect on how far you have come and feel a mix of humility and strength. This balance is important. Humility keeps you teachable. Strength keeps you steady. Together, they make you unshakable. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that confirmation does not mean the absence of challenges. It means challenges no longer confuse your identity or direction. You face them knowing who you are and why you are moving forward. That clarity changes everything. You may also notice that your prayers are changing. They are less about asking for rescue and more about asking for wisdom, guidance, and timing. This shift shows maturity. You are no longer seeking escape. You are seeking stewardship. There is a refinement of desire happening as well. You want what aligns, not just what looks good. You want what lasts, not what impresses. This refinement will protect you from short-term satisfaction that leads to long-term compromise. Archangel Michael says the peace you feel now is not temporary. It is the result of alignment locking into place. Protect it by honoring your discernment. Do not override what your spirit confirms just to keep others comfortable. As you stand here, know that you are closer than you realize to visible change. Seeds planted in clarity grow faster than seeds planted in confusion. Growth may not announce itself daily, but it is happening steadily. You are not waiting for permission anymore. You are walking with authority. Authority that is calm. Authority that is grounded. Authority that does not need to explain itself. Archangel Michael stands as witness to this transformation. What once threatened you now has no access. What once delayed you now cannot reach you. What once confused you now teaches you. Remain steady. Remain present. The final unfolding will bring resolution, blessing, and a deeper understanding of why this entire journey was necessary. Everything is about to make sense. My beloved one, Archangel Michael now speaks the final word over this journey, not as an ending, but as a sealing. What was warned has been stopped. What was hidden has lost its power. What was delayed has been aligned. You are standing at the point where understanding becomes embodiment. You are not merely aware anymore, you are established. Take a moment and recognize what has changed within you. You are calmer without becoming passive. You are confident without becoming rigid. You are discerning without becoming suspicious. This balance is rare, and it is earned. It is the mark of someone who has walked through pressure and emerged with wisdom intact. Archangel Michael says this is the posture of authority, quiet, grounded, immovable. The plan that once worked in secret has reached its true end, not because it was exposed publicly, but because it no longer has access to you. Access was its lifeline. Your awareness closed the door. Your alignment sealed it. From this point forward, interference will not follow you into what is next. What comes next will require focused stewardship and consistency, not defense. You may feel a gentle seriousness settle over you now. This is not heaviness. It is responsibility awakening. Responsibility to honor your peace. Responsibility to choose truth over convenience. Responsibility to move forward without dragging old narratives with you. You are not carrying the past into the future. You are carrying wisdom. Archangel Michael reminds you that you are now moving from reaction into creation. You will build with intention. You will choose with clarity. You will respond with discernment. And when challenges arise, they will meet a version of you that is no longer easily shaken. There is also a promise attached to this sealing. What was meant to confuse you will now instruct you. What once drained you will now inform your boundaries. Nothing you went through was wasted. Everything hath been redeemed into understanding. You may soon notice confirmations arriving in subtle ways. A conversation that aligns perfectly. A decision that brings immediate peace. An opportunity that feels right without explanation. These are not coincidences. They are affirmations that you are walking in step with divine timing. Archangel Michael says, do not rush to announce what you are building next. Let it grow in quiet strength. Some things flourish best when protected from premature attention. You will know when it is time to speak. Until then, let consistency speak for you. As this chapter seals, Release any remaining fear that something hidden could resurface. What was hidden relied on your unawareness. You are aware now. That chapter cannot reopen. The authority you carry now is permanent. Stand tall in that truth. Walk forward with humility and confidence intertwined. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely where clarity becomes momentum. Receive this final activation with intention. Type "I walk in sealed protection" in the comments if this message is aligned with your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now released and activated over your path. And now, hear this sacred call as we close. I am speaking directly to you who felt guarded, guided, and strengthened through this word. When you support this mission, you are responding to heaven's invitation to keep light flowing where secrecy once ruled. Your giving becomes seed in open ground, releasing clarity to souls who are still under pressure and confusion. The Lord says, "As you honor what I am building, I will establish what I have placed in your hands." Do not delay this moment. Release your seed now through Super Thanks. Step into membership, or sow through PayPal using the link in the description. View it as an act of obedience, not donation. I bless every giver with protection, provision, and precision, and I declare that what you release in faith will return as peace, increase, and divine covering. Archangel Michael stands watch. Your path is clear. Walk forward sealed, steady, and unafraid.